Hello from Simply Media. Today we're trying something new. We're trying to have a bigger screen. This is number 18, deflation. And it's an interesting topic because often people don't understand why it seems to be lower than it actually is. Well, there are three reasons. First, let's exclude the basic computation, which is the fancy word for measurement. If butter's $1 a pound, it goes to $1.01. We all know that's 1%. If it goes down to 99, we know that's -1. And they have various formulas to weigh in sales and things like that. The subtlety is there are three elements that are important for you to recognize. And if you take these into account, deflation in my mind is about 3% a year. And let me tell you what they are. The first one is a longer life. That means you buy something that used to last for 1 year and now it lasts 5. So that means you ought to divide it in 5 pieces. So if it was $1, it should be 20 cents a year. There's a certain time value for money, but put that aside. That's a computation. The second one is substitution. Now that's a subtle one. And that's the kind of thing we do when we're now buying iPhones, not computers. So instead of spending $2,000 or $3,000, we're spending $600. And then there's the final one, which is elimination. And that means when you click to pay your bill online, you're not buying a stamp. Now, it's not that the stamps aren't going up. We know they are. But it's that you're not using them. So that's an elimination. You also know that when you look into doing cord cutting and things like that. Well, in any event, I mention all of this because if you take into account what I've just said, you realize why, although the pundits keep talking about wages aren't going up that much, purchasing power is. And that means how much does your dollar buy? And that's the key thing. It's not how many more dollars do you get. They get a lot more dollars in Venezuela, but they're going down. That's a bolivar, but the point is they're all going down in value because there's inflation and their currency isn't worth as much. So let's go over that again. Last longer. What does that mean? Well, let's talk about the cost of a car. When I was growing up in the 1960s, a new car cost $2,000 to $2,500. So today it's $20,000 to $25,000. That's 10 times more. Well, it is, but the new car has a lot more features. Now, the key to inflation is apples to apples. You can't compare something simple, the cars in the 60s, to something elaborate today. And let me give you an example. Today, you can buy a used car for $2,000 to $2,500 and get more value out of it than you could a new car in the 60s. Well, what's that mean? Well, in the 60s, a car lasted about 40,000 miles and then just died on you. You had to change the oil every 1,000 miles. Things like that. So, today, for that used car, you get airbags, you get CD players, you get air conditioning. None of that was available. You get seat belts, you get more luxurious room inside and things like that. So actually, if you want to spend $2,500 today, you'll get a better car than you could have in the 60s. Now that doesn't mean you will, but that means if you spend the $20,000, you're getting a heck of a lot more car. And most cars today kind of get warmed up at 40,000 miles as opposed to die at that point. So that's a good example. So when you think about that, it's a very important thing. And one of the things that's going on is that's why the American economy is doing so well, because of rampant deflation. Now, in my situation, we used to spend $2,000 a month to kind of memorialize and keep our titles and, use them and all that sort of thing. And then we had to pay more money to distribute them. And we had other expenses of all kinds. We were using IBM. They were buying companies we had previously bought from, and the prices kept going up. Then AWS came along, and if you don't know what AWS is, look into it. It is Amazon's miracle, as I call it. It's a toolkit, and one of the Amazon people told me what it was in terms I could understand technically. And that was, as opposed to a platform, it gives you a toolkit. So it gives you like 40 or 45 things you can do. So what we do is we buy from a company that has an app. They run the app very well and only $200 a month, and my vendor is making money and Apple is making money, and I'm not spending $2,000. Now that's substitution. That's going on all over the economy, and you're hearing about problems with the FANG group. That's Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. But it's a miracle over there because they're all reducing our costs. And this is one example, AWS. So what can I do at $200 a month that I couldn't do at $2,000? This happens. I was able to automatically upload once from our supplier. Our vendor puts things together. Then he automatically distributed to all our customers. Anything new, and if we got a new one, he distributed it to them. Was that good or what? What did that mean? Well, that meant I didn't need my website anymore because I piggybacked on the FANG group. I used Apple, Amazon, Google to distribute my products. I stopped selling on my website, and if you go to simplymedia.com, you'll see what we do. But you'll also see that we admit those people are better. I mean, they'll protect your money better than we could, and they can't hack them. They hack us, of course, so they could. And so we stopped selling because that protects you. So anyway, when you look at what's going on, be sure you don't only look at how much more money you're making. Take a look at what it's buying you. For our company, it saves us a fortune. And a lot of companies have that because Bezos did something brilliant with AWS, and the others have to fall in line. So Microsoft's doing it, and even Oracle, which has always been complicated, has done it. And they're doing it very nicely. IBM even is taking a shot at it. Google, of course, does it extremely well. So that's what deflation is. And so if you want to know what's really going on, take a look at that. Take a look at what it means. It's pretty amazing. Thank you from Simply Media. And by the way, speaking of which, about money, Google makes this so easy to do that it cost us almost nothing. So just listen to what we have to say and join and subscribe to our group. And if you really like something, go get one of our ebooks and audiobooks. And if you don't, we're not going to die for it. Thanks for listening.